All right, this is JC. Going to go into an 8-step process on how to solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So beginning with the first step, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is solved. So the first step, okay, is the daisy. So you have the yellow center and you bring the white edge to the top so it looks like a daisy. That's the first one, okay? The second step is once you have the daisy, bringing the white and matching the white with the white centers and having the edges matching in with the centers, which is called the cross. Okay. The third step is the first layer, right? Having the entire first layer completed with the white top. And that will be solving with the white face down. So you'll have the first layer done. The fourth step is getting the second layer done, which only involves, going from this state to this fourth state is literally just 4 pieces, the edges. There's only 4 edges that you would need to insert to complete the second layer, which are the 4 edges, okay? Then going into the 5th step, which is the last layer edge orientation. So this top is the last layer, right? And we're only focusing on the edges, these 4 edge pieces to make them yellow, which is the yellow cross. The 6th step is the last layer corner orientation. So once you have the 4 edges complete, then you can move on to the 4 yellow corners to where the entire yellow, or the entire top is yellow. The yellow top, last layer corner orientation, right? Then the 7th step is getting the last layer corner permutation. So you'd be taking the corner pieces and inserting them in the correct position to where it would look like this, right? Focusing on the corners and permutating the corners. And the final step is 8, solved cube. And that would be taking these edge pieces and permutating them into the correct position so that you have a solved cube. Okay? So the first stage that we'll dive into is the daisy. So I'll scramble up a cube. All right, so the way that I like to look at this is you have the yellow center, which is what we're going to be focusing on, all right? And we're going to be focusing only on 4 pieces, these 4 white edges. So as you can see, there's only 4 white edges on the entire puzzle. And we're going to bring them up to the top and match them in with the yellow center. There's only a few cases that can be possible with this, right? There's the case where the white piece, the white edge, is in the middle layer, right? And we'd just be bringing it into the, the final state that it needs to be in the stage. The second case is the edge is on the bottom layer. And the third state is if it's in the top layer. So that's really the only 3 cases that we're going to have to solve here, right? So I broke it down into 3 easy steps. So step one is find the white edge. Okay, so this white edge is already solved, right? But the next one I see is right here. I call this the slot, right? So if you're looking at the puzzle, right, we're going to be looking at center pieces, and this is the slot in between the center pieces that you're working on, okay, for the first 3 or 4 stages of the puzzle. So this is the slot. You can see how these 3 pieces, are into the slot. Okay, so we're going to find the white edge, move it into the slot, and then simply insert it into the top layer, right? So we find the white edge. Step 2, it's already in the slot. And step 3, insert in the top layer. So we're going to, this is pretty intuitive, so just be rotating this face so that it comes into the top, right? The next is this white edge, okay, which is on the bottom, which is the second case, so the bottom layer. So what we're going to do is anytime you move a face, you want to make sure that there's not a white edge that's completed yet. Okay, so if we're working on this white edge, you're going to move the top to where there's an unsolved piece here, because we don't want to disturb these pieces, because otherwise if we're moving this about, we're going to be disrupting this solid piece. So we're going to go into this, right? And you see how that doesn't disturb a solid piece. So we're going to we found the white edge. We're going to move it into the slot. Okay, so we're going to rotate that white piece into the slot. So now it's in the slot. Okay, and the third is insert it into the top layer. So you can't, if you rotate it into the top layer here, you can see that the white isn't facing up, right? So we're going to have to rotate it this way. So you have to be mindful of which piece is already solved. So you're going to be rotating the top layer a lot. So we're going to move it to where it's an unsolved piece, so we can bring this white up. Okay? Insert it in the top layer. So now we're going to go find another white edge, which is right here. So we found the white edge. It's already into a slot here. Okay? And inserting in the top layer, we need to rotate the top so that we can bring an unfinished piece out and move this finished piece in. Okay, so that's the daisy. So we'll do it one more time. Find a white edge. It's in a slot, and we're going to move it into the top layer. We're going to find another one. Here's the second one. This is an unfinished piece. It's junk. So I usually call this junk. So we're going to we found the white edge. It's already in the slot, so we skip, step 2 essentially because it's already in the slot. And then step 3 is insert it into the top layer. When you insert it, this piece is going to be taken out, which we don't care because it's junk. So you bring it up. Okay. Here's another piece. We found the white edge. It's already in the slot. And we have to move it into the top layer. So inserting in the top layer, this is junk already, and we're going to rotate the piece in. And then here's another white edge. And we're going to move it. It's already in the slot, and we're going to insert it in the top layer, because that's junk. Okay? There's going to be a time where you have a piece on the top layer that's in the wrong orientation here. It's sticking out. So in that case, you would find the white edge right here, move it into the slot, which would be bringing it down into the slot. Step 2. Okay, so you see how I did that? You're moving it into this slot. And then the third step, once it's in the slot, step 3 is inserting in the top layer, which it's intuitive. You would rotate, that this rotating this face would bring it to the top, right? And then here's another piece, which we know that we can't do that because this is a finished piece. So we rotate the top like we did before. This is junk. And we're going to bring this white up into that place where the junk is. Okay? And that's the daisy step.